Unmanned aerial vehicles, also known as UAV or drones, have been around for centuries. It was solely developed and used for military purposes when it was first developed. The earliest records of UAV dates all the way back to 1849 when the Austrians attacked Venice using hot air balloons filled with explosives. The definition of UAVs nowadays depends on their capability to return successfully after mission. The first true UAV is developed in the late 1950s, but the experimentations have begun long before. World War I spanned from 1914 to 1918. In 1915, the British military used aerial photography to gain advantage over the Battle of Neuve-Chapelle. In 1916, the U.S. first began to develop the UAV technology. The Kettering bug, developed by Charles F. Kettering, was first built in 1917. It can travel up to 70 miles away. There are three sets of data needed for the UAV: wind speed, wind direction, and actual distance to target. After calculating how many revolutions the engine needs to make to destination, the plane is released. After the revolutions are done, the cam drops and explosives fall to the ground. During World War II, Reginald Denny created the first remote-controlled aircraft called Radioplane OQ-2A, and it was the first mass-produced drone. As to the impacts that UAVs and drones had on World War I would like to argue that World War I had more of an impact on UAV than the other way around. This is because the booming of technologies during World War I inspired the experimentation and manufacturing of UAVs. The UAVs, however, were not used in World War I and were not fully developed until World War II, when it had more of an impact. Currently, this technology is incredibly prevalent in both the military world and our daily lives. The drones nowadays are more developed and widely used in the military. In fact, the primary use of drones today are still military uses. The Obama administration ordered for 10 times more airstrikes using drones than previous administrations, with a total of 562 strikes to places like Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen. The unintended consequences are inherently the new uses that have been developed for UAVs. For example, they can be used personally as children's toys. They can be used in healthcare to deliver medication to rural or disaster-struck areas where trucks and vehicles cannot access. It can be used for scientific research to scout places considered too dangerous for humans. It can be used in agriculture to monitor crop growth and production. Despite the long history of drones, UAVs are still developing technologies across the world as new opportunities and uses are being discovered on a daily basis. At the end, I interviewed Dr. Beichman and asked him about his opinions on drones and the regulations surrounding it.
I think who can fly them and where they can fly them is probably the most important regulation. Depending on the level of drone you're looking at, if you're looking at, I would say, military-grade drones, or even the upper end of the civilian-level drones, that maybe having a government body like the FAA does for airplanes, having a government body that regulates where drones can go and who can fly them would be very useful. Lower-level drones, things like the ones that maybe only go like 50 or 100 feet in the air, those I wouldn't worry so much about, although I do think there should be privacy laws in place that prevent people from taking those drones and abusing the ability to get into places where they shouldn't to look at things.